3, 2, and go. Here we are. That's right, live on Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse. Check it out. This morning, I got up early, man. I got up early and felt great, right? Felt great getting up this morning. Got up a little bit early. Normally, I get up at 3:20. Today, I got up at about 3 o'clock, just after 3 o'clock. I got up. I go downstairs, right? I jump into my hashtag Rise and Grind planner, which for some reason reminds me of like Dora the Explorer, right? My handy dandy notebook. So I go to my handy dandy hashtag Rise and Grind planner. And as I step into it, there's a quote by my man, Jeremy Rodas. So every single day in the Rise and Grind planner, there's a quote at the top that is submitted by an actual Rise and Grind member, which I love. So Jeremy Rodas put this quote in there today. And the quote said this. It said, fail equals first attempt in learning. I want to let you sit on that for a second. Fail, F-A-I-L, equals first attempt in learning. I read that this morning. I thought, man, that's so good. I hadn't heard that one before. I don't know if you've heard it before, but I hadn't heard it before. And I thought, man, that's spectacular. Failing is actually our first attempt in learning because that's really the only way we learn, right? We learn through our failures. They help us grow. They help us get better. So this challenged me. There's something that's been on my mind. I've been thinking about doing it, but been concerned I was going to fail. And then really the answer is right there in the planner for me. I am going to likely fail, but that will be my first attempt in learning. And I love how that sounds. Let's go. Today's episode is going to be fire. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Monday. That's right. It's Monday. I stinking love Monday. Today is Monday, April 12th, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it will ever be Monday, April 12th, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. I hope that you are coming off of a great weekend. I do. I hope you had an incredibly powerful weekend. Maybe got to spend some time with family. Maybe got to travel a little bit. Maybe got to experience something you never experienced before. Maybe you won a bunch of money betting on the ponies over at Keeneland. However you spent your weekend, I hope that it was fantastic, dude. I know a lot of my car people had a big weekend. I know that. I know a lot of my people in the automotive world had a fantastic weekend. We're off to a big month. My man Mike Higdon is off to a big month. Great to see you, Mike, right? So I know that's happening. I know that is happening big time in the auto world. How crazy is that? Just so for all my automotive peeps, just lean in for a second. Everybody's been giving you grief about being in the car business. You're a car salesman? I can't believe it. Hey, car business done been good. Car business done been good during this season. I'm just saying. I'm just going to put that out there. If anybody's thinking about joining the car business, let me know. I got all kinds of people connected. I can hook you up. So with that said, I hope that you are killing it like my car people are. I hope you're having huge days. I hope you're having huge months. Listen, this weekend, my son and I, we planted some apple trees, which was awesome. Got out. It was raining a little bit, but who cares? We planted some apple trees, some Granny Smiths, so that we can get our Golden Crisp blooming. Like I was out there doing some farming stuff. I know that ain't me, but I got to tell you, my wife was looking at me a little extra sexy when she saw me out there burying trees, right? We also got to celebrate my son Fisher's 4th birthday. We did that this weekend. Family came over. My wife did the breakfast pancakes. She makes breakfast pancakes for every kid on their birthday from scratch, right? Which is awesome. And so we celebrated his birthday. And man, I got to tell you, 4 years old, what a great age. What a great age. I mean, I guess if I could maybe go back there like, hey, what age do you want to be as a kid? I'd be like, I want to be 4, because 4 years old, man, there's something really special about that age. Like my son is so funny, right? And he's just so wide-eyed. Like he's wide-eyed. He has no sense of like time, right? No sense of time. He was like, Dad, yesterday, he said, Dad, can we do some fireworks? I said, buddy, 4th of July is coming, couple more months. He's like, okay. And then he looks over at Joel. He said, Dad said we're going to do fireworks tomorrow. And Joel's like, he said a couple months. Fisher's like, yeah, it's tomorrow. Like no concept of time. No concept of like obligation to anyone or to anything. He has no concept of gravity sometimes, right? He just thinks he can run, jump, fly, play, whatever, right? He's just this wide-eyed kid with no real sense of structure, no real sense of reason. Like he just is. That's the best way to describe Fisher. Fisher just is. He is present. He is in the moment. He is authentic at all times. No masks. Always Fisher. And he's pure. He's pure. Like he'll come up to you and tell you, you'll be like, Fisher, why'd you break that toy into 15 pieces? And he'll be like, well, because I wanted to see what it was like when it was broke. And then to top it off, Dad, I tried to hide it from you because I knew that you were going to get me in trouble. Like he just spits it out there, man. He's just present and he's real and he's in the moment. My son, Fisher Grant Lundy, is living with a miracle mentality. He's living with a miracle mentality. You see, my friend Tim Story wrote a book about this. He wrote about a book about this thing called the miracle mentality. And for those of you that don't know Tim, I'll introduce you to him. My friend Tim Story is a guy who he grew up the youngest of 5 in Linwood, California. Now, Linwood, California is close to Compton, that area. Like he grew up, in the streets. He grew up not really having anything, but as he continued to grow up through life, he's ultimately been incredibly successful and he's lived this kind of miracle mentality, right? This magical existence that exists really for all of us, but he's been out there living it. I mean, this is a guy who wrote the book Maximum Impact. He also wrote another book called Staying Steady in Unsteady Times. He is a celebrity life coach, a motivational speaker. He is a full-time entrepreneur with multiple businesses. He was at one time, this guy was a waiter, okay? He went from being a waiter to then he became a suit salesman. So he was out there selling suits. And then some people poured into him, and he ultimately got called into ministry. And at 20 years old, what's crazy, at 20 years old, Tim Story, very first time preaching, he had 150,000 people that he was able to reach with his message. It's crazy, man. Tim Story has 3,000 celebrity member, like celebrities. He's got 3,000 of them in his weekly Bible study. And I'm talking big names celebrities. They're all in his weekly Bible study. He's like the preacher for Hollywood, is basically the way to explain him, right? And he's worked with Kanye West. He's worked with Robert Downey Jr. He's worked with Charlie Sheen. He's worked with all of them, right? Like he worked with Charlie Sheen and Kanye when they're in the middle of their big old mental breakdowns, right? This guy even helped, like Tim's story is crazy. He even helped create Dog the Bounty Hunter. I don't know where that comes from, right? You would never put those two together, but he helped create the show Dog the Bounty Hunter. He was on several episodes of the show. He's lived in 70 different countries, and he was even spotlighted on Oprah in 2015, followed by, after Oprah, he was on the Super Soul Sessions with Oprah, and he's become dear friends with Oprah Winfrey and actually helps her with her miracle mentality as well. What a crazy, extraordinary life this guy's lived. And I think he's just barely like 50 years old or something, right? He's still got just as long to live as he's already been here on this planet. I can't even imagine the magical life that he will continue to live. It's amazing. So all in, when you really look at it, he's lived a truly, I think we can all say from the outside anyway, we don't know him. I do, but you might not. From the outside anyway, I think it's safe to say he seems to be living a truly magical life. And Tim does say that this is based on having a miracle mentality. And so that's what we're going to dive into this week. What is a miracle mentality, right? How do we extract a miracle mentality? How do we live it out? How do we breathe it at all times, this miracle mentality, so that we too can have a magical life? As we go through this series this week, I highly suggest you go get a copy of The Miracle Mentality. You can download it on Audible. If you prefer the Audible, you can get the book, but I highly suggest you get it. It should be a must read for everybody. It really is got some special stuff in there, and you can walk along with us as we go through this journey together. So I'm about to do this thing that we do on this show every morning. This thing where we do some dancing, right? And so maybe while we're doing some dancing, maybe that's when you go grab a copy of the book. Like I really want you to get a copy of The Miracle Mentality. Right? Just trust me on this one. All right. Now, while you're doing that, we're going to do some dancing. That's right. For those of you that know, those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where we're going to get the body moving. We're going to get the blood pumping. All right. If you're working out, pick up some extra weight. If you're running, I need you to run a little bit harder. All right. Whatever you're doing, if you're at the house, now's the time to dance. Get that body in motion. Listen, an object in motion stays in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. So let's get you in motion this Monday morning. Trust me, you'll thank me later. So do some dancing. I don't care where you are. Maybe you're over in London walking down the street. Maybe you're over in Taiwan, wherever you are. I need you to do some dancing this morning, all right? This is also the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. If you're watching on Facebook, share it out, tag a friend. If you're over on Clubhouse, hit that plus sign, get some people up here into the room. Go ahead, plus it up, plus it up, plus it up. All right, because we're going to change the way you start your day. When you change the way you start your day, it'll make a massive impact in your life. This is also the part of the show where I say good morning to you and you say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, whatever, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Carmilla? What's up, Melvin Rodriguez? Wes Storm's in the house. What's up, Nathaniel Banks? How you doing, Tina Davis Bacon? Great to see you. I also see Photography by Sky, and I see Queen Makita is up in here this morning. What's up, Alloy Artist? How you doing? Solana, you get me every time. Solana Reachinitis? Solana Reachinitis. I'm going to have to work on that one. What's up, Sarah Ball? Great to see you, Heather Ivy. Sanjay Gupta. What's up, Jeff Baker? Thanks for stopping by, brother. It was great seeing you the other day. Miss Marilyn Wilkin is up in here. How you doing, Anne-Marie Golomsky? We've also got Janelle Griego is up in the house. Over in Clubhouse, We got all kinds of folks. Nathaniel Grecklick is up in here. What's up, Michelle Patsky? How are you? I see Jose is in the house. I see Priscilla. Is that right? Yep, Priscilla is up in here this morning. I see Andrea. My man Trey Congleton is in the house this morning. Great to see you, Trey. What's up, Garrett and Gregory? I see the doctor and Salam. I see Latrice and Josh and Sarah. My man Ronnie Phillips is up in here this morning. What's up, Melanie? Great to see you and Latasha. I also see Rini and Van Ness and Laya and Rob and Philippe. We've also got Joy and Christina and Incha. All kinds of folks joining us here over on Clubhouse this morning. It's going to be awesome. Miracle Mentality is the name of the book, Danny. Miracle Mentality. Ken Bagghetto, mental wellness coach, is with us already over on Instagram. Over on Facebook, my man Rodney Rock Hatfield and Susan Rose. Gail Beecraft is up in here. Gail, I saw you over at the bank the other day, but you was busy. What's up, Krista Bug? How you doing, Don Sankey? Mr. Michael Guthrie's up in here this morning. Tabby Negrit, Mr. Mike Overfelt, Whitney Wells. Ooh, thanks for the stars, Wendy Reeves. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, over on Facebook, whenever you drop stars, that converts to money. And we take that money and we do things offline, like feeding homeless people, helping people that are battling cancer, any of those things. We now have the option to do that on Clubhouse now too. If you click on my profile on Clubhouse, you can hit the send money button, I guess it is, and we're going to do the same thing. Any funds that we receive through there will be used offline to make an impact in other people's lives. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's out there. With that said, I appreciate the hearts you're dropping over on Facebook, and let's dive into the Miracle Mentality with Tim Story.
Taking time to be creative and let your imagination soar. Taking time to be creative and let your imagination soar. Man, there's some beautiful things in life when you do that.
When life tries to take me down to a whisper, just shout on purpose. Just intentionally shout.
You were never created to be almost, nor were you created to be most. To be most means there's a ceiling. If I was to let go a helium balloon today, even though the ceilings are so high, there's a ceiling. But where you're headed, there is no ceiling.
That's the wrong audio, I think, over on Clubhouse. I'm going to have to double check that. All right, listen. In The Miracle Mentality, this book by the great Tim Story, there are 4 states of living that he breaks down. 4 states of living. You have the mundane, you have the messy, you have madness, and you have magical. All right, I'm going to give you those to you one more time for those of you that are taking notes. Mundane, messy, madness, and magical. All right? Now, what Tim talks about is most people are living in one of those first 3 stages. They're living living a mundane life, a messy life, or a life of madness, right? And so we're going to break those down so you have an understanding what each one is. You can identify maybe where you're at. And then ultimately, Tim talks us through how we take ourselves from mundane, messy, or madness into the magical, right? A magical living, which is ultimately a result of the miracle mentality. That's what this book breaks down. So let's start with the word mundane. Mundane, by definition, means lacking interest or excitement. Dull, right? It also has a second meaning of this earthly world rather than a heavenly or spiritual one. But we're going to focus on that first one. Lacking interest or excitement, dull. You see, many people are living their life this way. Their relationships are lacking incitement and are dull. Their jobs are lacking excitement and are dull. Their day-to-day is lacking in excitement. It is dull. They're just kind of going through the motions each day, almost like a gerbil on a hamster wheel that is running and running and running, but ultimately not getting anywhere in their life. I like to associate mundane with comfortable. I like to associate mundane with comfortable because trust me, when you start to fall out either way, when you start to get out of your comfort zone, maybe you're out of your comfort zone because you're broke and you're digging through trash cans. Let me tell you, things aren't necessarily mundane. Every single day has got a little something to it, especially when you don't know the next time you're going to eat, right? Then you've got the other side where people break out of comfort. They go into areas they've never been before. They do things they've never done before. They meet people they've never met before. They experience that 1% life or breaking out of the middle class. And I don't just mean financially, breaking out, raising their standard of average, and super exciting things happen on that other side when you break out of the normal, right? When you break out of that. And so stepping out of the comfort zone to me is the equivalent of stepping out of the mundane. And here's the interesting part about this, right? These people living this mundane life, which trust me, I've been there. Here's the interesting part about it. You are most comfortable in life right before death, I believe, based on my experiences. And I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to die yet. So a mundane state of living is basically waiting around to die. Is that you? Now, keep in mind, you could be living a magical life in one aspect of your life and mundane in another. Just as toxic. Are your relationships exciting? Are you challenging yourself and getting out of your comfort zones at work so that it's exciting? Are you going to different restaurants so that it's exciting? Are you mixing it up, changing things, learning something new? You see, that's how we step into the miracle mentality and out of the mundane. The second aspect of life that Tim talks about, there's people that are living in the messy. People that are living in the messy. And messy by definition means untidy or dirty. Untidy or dirty, right? It also is defined as confused and difficult to deal with when referring to a situation. So untidy or dirty or confused and difficult to deal with. This is how a lot of people are living their life. Now, this can refer to your home. This can refer to your car. This can refer to your work. This can refer to your relationships, like every aspect of your life. Like if you're the type of person that is not writing down your goals, then you would be living a messy life. Does that make sense? Because it's just messy. Like, okay, one day I'm going left, one day I'm going right, one day I'm moving backwards, one day I'm moving forward. It's very messy. There's no real direction. There's no cleanliness. There's no plan. Like if you don't have a daily planner that you're mapping out a plan in, you're living a messy life. Like my name's Glenn and I'm your friend. And yes, I do sell planners. And the only reason I sell planners is because I understand that in order for people to change the way they start their day and really get their life moving in a certain direction, you have to have a plan. So I provide a tool to help you with that, just in case you don't have one. But I don't tell you need a planner because I sell planners. I sell planners because you need a planner. Does that make sense? If you're not planning it out, you're just living a messy existence, and messy is no good. Like having no roadmap, that's all messy. It's sloppy. And when we live a messy, sloppy life, that can lead to things like drinking too much. Like when you think of the word sloppy, right? Y'all have seen sloppy people that have drunk too much, right? Drinking too much, drugging too much, losing, like not taking care of yourself health-wise is sloppy, right? You look sloppy, you feel sloppy, all of those things, right? That's all attached to living a messy life. You see, living a messy life affects how you see the rest of the world as well. That's what's crazy. If your life is a mess, you think everyone else is a mess too. But here's the realization of the facts. Your life is a reflection of your daily habits and your belief systems. Do you understand that? Your life is a reflection of your habits and your belief systems. Simple as that. You want to get out of the messy? We're going to have to start stepping in, making plans, writing goals, creating disciplines so that you can clean all that mess up. You're going to have to clean your spaces up. We got to clean your thinking up, all those things. We're going to talk about how you can do that as we go forward, studying the miracle mentality. The next one is madness. Madness is defined as the state of being mentally ill, especially severely. It's also defined as extremely foolish behavior. And it can also be defined as a state of frenzied or chaotic activity. I know I'm giving a lot on you this morning. I'm moving fast. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Let's go. All right. The state of being mentally ill, especially severely, extremely foolish behavior, a state of frenzied or chaotic activity. That is the definition of madness. Listen, you ever been there before? Have you ever just completely lost your stuff? Like extremely foolish behavior, punching walls, breaking stuff, throwing things, screaming for no reason, talking trash about people you love. You ever done that? You see, many people live this life like every single day. I had a friend tell me the other day that a guy that we knew beat up his girlfriend, broke her arm, and they're still together. They don't have no kids together. Like, nothing. Not saying if you have kids together, you stay together. I'm just saying, that's madness. To be in a toxic relationship like that with no strings, no ties, no nothing, that's just straight madness. And I know that there are many, many people that end up in those situations. People that are in relationships that don't serve them. People that are accepting, allowing. And I don't mean this. I understand there are victims out there, but there are also people that are allowing themselves to be abused. There are people that are allowing neglection into their life or neglecting others. There are people that stay in a state of dysfunction. These are all forms of madness. No financial education, that is madness. Not taking care of yourself physically, that is madness. Giving your kids little crack devices at all times to maybe keep them quiet, knowing that every time you give them one of those devices, it changes them as a human, and you don't like the result, but you keep handing it to them anyway because it's easy. That is madness. Letting little small kids play games where they shoot up everybody and they kill everybody and there's blood and gut and gory and all that stuff. I'm just telling you, that is all madness. You are setting yourself up and your kids up for a life of chaos. Some of y'all are like, dang, Glenn, I thought you were my friend. I'm just saying, if the result isn't magical, if it doesn't bring you pure joy, if the result isn't pure joy, then it's consistent and steady madness. So how do you know? Listen, here's how you know if you're living in madness. People living in madness make excuses. Madness makes excuses. There's your note for the day. Because it's not rational to live in a state of madness. It's not rational. Now let's define this word magical. Relating to, using, or resembling magic. Beautiful or delightful in such a way as to seem removed from everyday life. Now that sounds more like it, doesn't it? And let's define this word miracle. A surprising and welcome event that is not explainable by natural or scientific laws and therefore considered to be the work of the divine. It's also defined as a highly improbable or extraordinary event, a development or accomplishment that brings very welcome consequences. Miracle is also defined as an amazing product or achievement, or an outstanding example of something. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to live in the mundane? Do you want to live in the messy? Do you want to live in the madness? Or do you want to live in the magical? Which one sounds best to you from what I just described? Which one sounds best to you? Listen, this is where my son Fisher lives. He's 4 years old. We just celebrated his birthday. The boy is present. Every single moment of life to him is miraculous. He is filled with joy. He is free. And you can be too. Because like Fisher, you are a child of God. The God of the universe. The God that made everything. And that God put in you the wonder and the joy of a miracle mentality. As we continue to go through this week, we're going to extract what this looks like to you. Practical application, things that you can apply in your life today, this week, this month, this year. To step out of the mundane, step out of the messy, and to step out of the madness and step into the magic. Listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. That's right, you can go to glennlundy.com. You can check us out over there. If you want to hang out and talk about this more right now, we are going over in Clubhouse. We'll be talking about it. I think Tim Story is going to join us this morning if he's not here already. He's going to join us this morning. We're going to talk about the miracle mentality. We're going to talk about the magic. We're going to talk about all these different things. So you're welcome to go join us over there on Clubhouse. Otherwise, if you can't join us on Clubhouse this morning, I totally get it. No problem. Make sure you come back here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again on #RiseAndGrind. Hey, I love you, all right? If nobody's told you that yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. Let's get after it. Have an incredible day. See ya.